why isn't the administration knocking on your door right now?
I don't know.
Why isn't everybody, God help you, but like, why aren't they looking at WSU Tech and saying, this is education done right?
And it's flipping the model. The most popular way of creating a new program for education is, a bunch of people go in a room and figure out what they want to do, and they create a program. What we do is we bring industry to the table. And I'll give you a great example of this. When we were building the National Center for Aviation Training, which you were in the other day.
Impressive.
When we were building that facility, we brought the leaders from aviation in Wichita to the table, and we said, what does your workforce look like in 5 to 10 years? Not only what skills do they need, but what are the new things that are going to happen? And so we built those programs. Many of the programs that you saw, they were built because the industry told us that's what was needed. So then they bring subject matter experts to the table. They help create the curriculum. We do the academic pieces to make it fit. Same thing we're doing with the MRW curriculum.
Well, you've been such a blessing to MikeroweWORKS, because it's great that you agree with our principles, but you actually adapted the S.W.E.A.T pledge, and you got behind the idea that it could be a curriculum of sorts.
When I first started at WSU Tech, I went to industry and I listened to everybody tell me, oh, your college puts out technically proficient people, but they don't know how to work. And I just was like scratching my head. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean? But I heard it from every single industry. Here is this S.W.E.T pledge, and part of what you do in your orientation is you sign this, that you're going to take these in, and these become values within who you are as a person as you go into the workforce. That's how this all started. And then challenging them beyond when they're with us, when they get to that workforce, to keep that in mind. Who's demonstrating good work ethic? Are you demonstrating good work ethic? That's what employers need. We have to have technical skills. They have to have knowledge. They have to have technical skills of what they're going to do. And they have to have this other piece, which is the work ethic piece, or they can't be successful. But then we bring the industry back in, and the industry then continues to say, hey, when we hired these people, they were deficient in this, or this. Okay, great. We're going to fix that. So then you just continuously improve what you're doing, and you continuously integrate the new technology and the skills that they need in those jobs.
What are the placement rates like?
Our placement rate remains between like 90 and 92% of our graduates. And that's 3 things. They either are working in the field they studied in, they're in the military, or they're continuing their education. And the majority of them continue their education at Wichita State University, in an educational career path that we've built with them, because they understand the importance of the work we do, and then how that can integrate to become an engineer or a person in a business management or business administration or whatever the case may be. To me, education's here, career's here.
Mm-hmm.
So bring somebody in where they don't have this big elephant on the table, and they can think, I can do that. I can do 6 weeks or 8 or 12, and then I can do this job, and I can make this money, and then I'm going to go to work. I mean, maybe I'm going to continue to get my 2-year degree, but maybe I'm just going to go to work. And then I'm going to say, man, what she's doing over there, that's what I want to do next. Then they come back, they add, and they continue to add, and that can be at WSU Tech, and that can be at Wichita State University. And that's the beauty of this, and the beauty of building stackable curriculum,
mm-hmm.
and building a career pathway with education right next to it. So it's just a ladder. You're just going up.
But it's more than a ladder. It's a visible ladder. Like
mm-hmm.
what you just said is super important, I think. When we took shop class out of high school,
mm-hmm.
what we really did was we eliminated the possibility that some kid walking from math class to English class down the corridor
Sure.
might glance in through
mm-hmm.
the window and see some CNC thing going on, or
right.
see something being fabricated,
mm-hmm.
which might spark a thing that says, hey, I wonder if I could do that. Right? So that's kind of gone in a lot of ways, but it is so alive and well in your world.
It is alive and well in our world, because I'm a huge proponent of that, because young kids can't be anything that they don't know what it is.
Right.
I mean, if they haven't had exposure, they probably know what a nurse and a doctor and a teacher is, but do they know what a robotics technician does? Do they know that airplanes have mechanics? Do they understand that you can be a surgical technician in the surgery room with the surgeon. All these kind of things that they can't see. So 3 things that we've done with that.
Hey, if you like the idea of getting work ethic back into our schools, then you're going to want to support the MikeroweWORKS Foundation. But if you like the idea of getting something in return for your generous donation, take a look at this. The first ever Trades of America coin. That is 5 solid ounces of silver. It's legal tender. I helped mint 250 of them. I was there when they designed it. My friends at USMR have done an amazing job. This is maybe my favorite fundraiser ever. They're $399. Every penny comes to MikeroweWORKS. What a terrific gift this would be for the tradesperson in your life. It comes in a beautiful display. You could put it on a mantle, give it as a gift, really anything you want. You can also watch the film of us making this over at usmr.com/Mike. Go there, get one. They're going to go quick. Thanks. See you.
And I'll start with the high school kids. So we've developed what we call these Future Ready Centers. And we're in partnership with USD 259, which is the Wichita School District, which is the largest school district in the state of Kansas. They're on either one of our campuses or one of theirs. All high school students have the opportunity to go a half a day to these Future Ready Centers. We have one in manufacturing and aviation. We have one in healthcare. We're building one right now in IT. And then we'll be building one for applied technologies. So construction science and automotive and those kind of things. But those high school kids then start a career track when they're in 11th grade to go through those career technical pathways. So we've done that with high school kids. But then we go, okay, what about middle school kids? Because they don't, to your point, they don't get to see any of that. So what we've done with them is we're bringing them in the summer. We had over 2,000 middle school kids last summer. We did camps with them. We're going to continue to build that and have more camps. And the biggest idea is to expose them and create awareness. They get to build a drone. They get to fly it in a drone field. They get to have a competition. They get to get in a flight simulator and fly planes. They get to work on an airplane. They get to build a CNC part. They get to do all these things hands-on that they would never have that experience for. So they go to these camps. Hopefully, by the time they're in 9th grade and they have to decide what they want to do, maybe they're going to be interested in one of those pathways, career pathways. We just started a children's book series to go to 4 through 8, ages 4 through 8, so that they could read about careers in STEAM education.
STEAM, science, technology, engineering,
art, and math.
Yeah. That STEAM thing is such a big deal. What a difference one more vowel makes.
It does.
Well, when you take the art out of a thing. I mean, that's what happened to the vocational arts, right? Mm-hmm. We took the art out. Then it was VOTEC. Then it was some acronym. Then it was another acronym. Then it was SHOP. Then it was gone. Mm-hmm. But the demise of all of that starts with the removal of art. Mm-hmm. You're putting the art back in it. But, I mean, everything you just said is field trip on steroids.
Mm-hmm. But we're taking it to them. And I'll give you an example. The first book is written after my oldest granddaughter. Her name's Ella. She is a 3rd grader.
What's the series called again?
It's called Tech Tykes. And the first one is Ella, the engineer, and the big fix. And so Ella and her friends go to a playground. The playground's kind of, torn up and not up to par. They decide as a group that they're going to build a new playground, and it's all about how do you use engineering, the curiosity, the building and the design and all that kind of thing, and they do it on the ground. Well, interestingly enough, my daughter, her mother, read the book to her 3rd grade classroom, and I donated a book to her 3rd grade classroom in my granddaughter's name. And they had this robust conversation, which my daughter was like, I had no idea this was going to happen, and I thought the teacher was going to cut us off. And they kept having it. Well, then what she did was the next big project they did, they're working on building playgrounds. And they're in little groups. And my granddaughter was at my house last Sunday night, and she's like, look, Gigi, look what we're doing. We're building this playground, and I'm doing this, and my teammate's doing this. That's the beauty of this, because we're bringing that out. We're going to do 10 books, and they're all going to be about different careers. So that 4 through 8-year-olds, so we take it to them, We bring the middle school kids, and then we take we get the high school kids. We have over 4,000 high school kids right now at our college. And we had 700 10 years ago.
She calls you Gigi?
Yes, she does. That's my grandma name. I'm Gigi.
That's awesome.
You have to have a passion for what you're doing. You have to have an eye to innovate, and you have to always be thinking about, how things are changing. And our industry is just like everybody else's. It's vastly changing. Think about the whole idea of applied learning. So the university is big on applied learning. We are too, so that every student has that opportunity to work in what they're getting educated in. And the earlier the better. In college, I lived several semesters with a couple of elementary education majors, and they student taught. The last semester we were in school, I was a business major, marketing major, and they were in this, and they went to do their student teaching day one, and they're like, okay. I said, how'd it go? Hate it.
Not good.
I'm like, okay, that's not good. So how do you do that? Like, we created an education program, an early education program, and week 12, they're going into the classrooms. Now, can they do a lot? No, but they can be in that environment. It's that applied learning. It's that work-based learning. It's taking work and education and blending that together. I mean, think about that. So you have work ethic, you have applied learning, you have knowledge and skill education, and you're blending that together. That is the greatest ecosystem that you can put out for students. All the different ways that you're touching people across this nation is phenomenal. And the scholarships that you did $2.5 million last year. The touch, the reach that you're doing, that's the thing. It takes all of us together. And that's why I say transformational partnerships, that's where the true success lies. And I'm a big fan of, the stool that you work on together that has the three legs together to make things happen. And that's when great things do happen. It's when people come together with a common vision, a common goal, like what we have to teach work ethics. And then what comes from that?
I can't believe it took an hour and 15 minutes, but we finally have a chance to talk about stool. Thank you so much for that, Sheree.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for classing it up.
If you like what you heard,
and even if you don't,
won't you please,
pretty please, subscribe. Well, I hate to beg and I hate to plead, but please, pretty freaking please, please subscribe.